Okay. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? Yes. Good morning, online. Good morning. Yes, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Good morning. Okay. So, without any further delay, let's go ahead and then start up. Okay. And what did we discuss in our last class? Yes, cluster networking instances and then security group and NSCLs. Ready for a quick shootout? Online, ready? Okay. So, what is a cluster? Group of servers. Group of servers, or you also call it as group of instances. And what is that group called? Placement group. What is that group called? Placement group. And there are, how many different types of placement groups? 3 types. What are those? Cluster, spread, partition. So which placement group is within a same availability zone, same rack? Cluster. And then which one is across availability zone? Spread. Which one? Spread. And how many maximum machines you can have per availability zone? 7. And then how many partitions also you can have? 7. In each partition, you can have multiple machines. And inside this placement group, is it good to have same type of machines or different types? Same type. Which one? Same type. Good. And then coming to security group. So how do you secure your EC2 instance? Using security group. Using what? Security group. So what is a security group? Which stops unauthorized access to the EC2 instance. Very good. Stops unauthorized access to the EC2 instance. And what the security group will do? It will allow or it will deny. And how many rules are there? 2 rules. What are those? Inbound rules and outbound rules. By default, inbound rules are deny. By default, inbound rules are deny. At default, outbound rules are allowed. Outbound rules are allowed. Okay. If I want to access my Linux machine, what is the protocol that I need to add? SSH. Windows machine? RDP. If I want to access my application? HTTP or HTTPS. Okay. And then is it possible to deny a security group? No, not possible. It's not possible to deny. You can only allow. You can only allow. So do we have a default security group? Yes. Is it better to use default security group now or create new security groups? Default security groups. It's better to create use a default security group. But in real time, you need to create a new security groups. Okay. And then for every EC2 instance, you must attach at least one security group or not? Yes. And then can you attach multiple security groups to the EC2 instance? Yes, possible. Okay. And then if you add any inbound rule, you need to add that in outbound rule? No need. What is that called? Stateful. Who are stateful? Security group is a stateful. And which one is stateless? NACL. What is the full form of NACL? Network Access Control List. And NACL is also called as, in different pronunciation, NACL. Okay. And this NACL is stateful or stateless? Stateless meaning if you allow any inbound rule, you must allow that in outbound rule. So you need to allow on both then. Is it possible to deny in NACL? Yes, it's possible to deny. So EC2 instance, security group is which level? EC2 instance level. And NACLs are subnet level. So do you know what is subnet? So subnet is a isolated network in the big network. Okay, it's an isolated network. And one subnet is associated to one availability zone, correct? One subnet can be in multiple availability zones at the same time? No. But one availability zone can have multiple subnets? Yes. Similarly, one subnet is associated to one NACL. One subnet can be in multiple NACLs? Not possible. But one NACL can have multiple subnets? Of course, possible. Which one will hit first? NACL. After that, security group. Okay. And do we have a default NACL? For the default NACL, inbound, outbound rules are allowed. But when you create a new NACL, inbound, outbound rules are denied. Fantastic, guys. Superb. Very good. As usual. Nice. Fantastic. Yeah. All entities, can you please confirm? Can you see my screen? And can you hear me well? Ah. Mm. Mm. So that concept is one NACL can have multiple subnets. Yes. You can repeat it. Yes. Okay, ma. So today's topic, you know this topic already, but we'll go a little bit more deep dive into it, right? So we like to go deep dive, right, all the time. So not on just like that, huh? So today's topic is auto scaling, right? So what is auto scaling? Very good. Scale out and scale in what? EC2 instances based on load. Yes or no? Okay. So what is scale out meaning here? Increasing, or you call it as adding. Scale in meaning decreasing or removing. Okay. So whenever there is a demand on the traffic, this auto scaling group will launch new EC2 instances based on the load. Yes or no? Correct? I'll let here. Whenever there is a demand in traffic, auto scaling group will scale out and scale in EC2 instances automatically. Correct, Nana? So if someone asks you what is auto scaling, so you can proudly say this line. So whenever there is a demand in the traffic, auto scaling group will scale out and scale in EC2 instances automatically based on the load. So let me put one diagram here. What is this? Load balancer. And then here we have EC2 instances. And then in this EC2 instances, we have application or not? We should have the application. Of course, we have a multiple EC2 instances. Okay. So assume I have this EC2. So is it in this EC2 instances, we need to keep the same application or different application? It is same. What is that called? Keeping the same application in multiple machines. What is that called? Redundancy. Very good. What is that called? Redundancy. Okay. So this is, we have this like this, and then this is ELB. So how many machines are there at the moment here? 5 machines are there. So assume Flipkart or Amazon, whichever the website it is. So it has 5 EC2 instances running in the backend. So, and then you have Black Friday, big sale day, etc., on, let's say on some particular day, let's say on Friday, big billion days, right? So on that Friday, these 5 machines are sufficient to handle the load? No. So what we need to have, we need to increase the number of servers. Yes or no? We need to increase the number of servers. So we increase the number of servers. What is that called? Scale out. The increasing the number of servers, we call it as scale out. And Friday is done. Next week, what is Saturday? On Saturday, do we need these many machines? No. Again, we need to come back to the normal 5 machines. What is that called? Scale in. So whenever there is a demand, automatically scale out will happen, automatically scale in will happen. That is called auto scaling. So whenever, so here, new EC2 instance will be launched automatically here. Yeah. And then you have EC2 instance. This is EC2. And inside this also we should have application. EC2. And we have the application. So this entire group is called what? Yes, entire group is called what? Auto scaling group. In this auto scaling group, is it good to have the same type or different type? Same type machines, different type machines. So all these machines, I keep a same type. Which is the instance type that we should be using it? In our codes, instance type. T2 micro. Do you forget that? So what is that instance type that we is using? T2 micro. One more time. T2 micro. Okay. So here, scale out will happen. Scale out will happen based on the load. Scale out. Scale out. I'll come to that point, Satya. So you understand the diagram of this? Question here is, load balancer does the monitoring for the EC2 instance or for the application? For the application, using health checks. Fantastic. So load balancer will do the health checks. ELB does the health check for the application. And who will do the monitoring for the EC2 instances? For EC2 instances, I'm saying. Which is the service used to monitor the EC2 instances? Fantastic. Which one? CloudWatch. So CloudWatch monitors the EC2 instances. So application will get monitored by the load balancer, and then EC2 instances getting monitored by the CloudWatch. Okay, now. So Nana, assume you want to set up few machines. You want to set up the application. Initially, okay, now as a manager, I came to you and said, hey, this is application, please set it up. And you will ask, sir, how many number of people you will be accessing it? I said, 50 people for now. Later, I don't know. Maybe there may be sudden spike will be there. So how many machines that you can provision? Provision meaning here, what is the meaning of provision? Provision meaning launching. So generally in Oxford University people, so they will use this word called provisioning. What is that? Provision the machines, provision the EC2 instances, provision S3 bucket, provision, they'll say call it as provision. What is that? Provision. So now, can you tell me how many machines that you provision initially for these 50 people? How many machines required? 3, 4, 4. Should you put 4? Example? How many machines? 4 machines. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. How many machines are there? Why did you choose 4? Or why did you choose 2? Or why did you choose 3? Right? That is your initial capacity or not? Right? So how many machines that you wish to launch initially? That is called here desire capacity. What is that? Desire meaning what? Wish, no? Korika, desire. So how many machines that you want to launch initially for your requirement? 4 machines. So that is called here desire capacity. What is that, Nana? Desire capacity. So what is the DC value here? DC is 4. So now you have the desire capacity 4. Now tell me, in your entire group, scale out will happen, no? Obviously, scale out will happen, scale in will happen. Initially, how many machines are there? 4 machines are there. For how long? What is the maximum EC2 instance that you can have in one group? Example, let's say, can I put 6 maximum? So maximum is how much? 6. Maximum 6. Can you tell me minimum how many machines that you want in your group? Minimum 2. Okay, I'll put 2. So what is the desired capacity? 4. What is the maximum? What is the minimum? How many machines are there at the moment? 4. Now scale out is happening. How many are there? How many are there? 5. How many are there? Is it possible this machine? Not possible. Because what? Because it has reached the maximum. You understood what is maximum now? Okay. Scale out is happening. Scale out will happen only to that maximum limit. Is it only 6 I can give? You can give 60 also, no problem. It is based on your requirement. Don't go with only 4. Riyaz sir told only maximum 6. Riyaz sir told only 4 maximum. No, it is up to based on your requirement. Okay, now, no. So now scale out is done. Scaling is happening. Now scaling is happening. How many machines are there? 4. This will happen. So that is minimum. Understood? That is minimum. So in auto scaling group, minimum to minimum, 2 machines will be there up and running all the time. Is it mandated to have only 2? You can put 20 also there, no issues. So based on the number of people that you are accessing, you can put the minimum, maximum values and desired capacities. It's purely depend upon your requirement. Clear, Nana? Is it clear? So what are these 3 things here? Minimum, maximum, and desired capacity. What are those? Minimum, maximum, and desired. So can I say minimum and maximum are boundaries? Yes, minimum, maximum are boundaries and desired capacity. So minimum. There is question. It mean first we put number of machines, then we can't scale out. We can scale out. Yes or no? We can scale out. There is no concept called can't, right? Sir, who to get back to How? Who to get back to DC once we scale in? How? So one single word will change my brain entirely. Okay. So how to get back to? So you don't need to get back to DC. Automatically, based on the load, it will just fluctuate based on that minimum maximum values. Desired capacity is not constant. Desired capacity is variable. What is that? You know what is variable, no? It keep on changing the value, correct? So desired capacity is variable automatically based on the load. Let's say now at the moment two are there. No load. How many machines will be there? Only 2. All of a sudden load comes. It increased to 3, increased to 4, 5, 6 maximum. And there is no load, increased to little bit down. So that scaling will happen automatically. Okay. Yeah. So minimum. What is minimum? So the minimum number of EC2 instances that auto scaling group should have. Example, minimum how much? 2. So this is maximum number of EC2. So maximum How much? 6. These are examples only, okay? So the number of EC2 instances that you wish or desire to have, desire to launch initially. That is called what? Desire capacity. What is desire capacity? What is desire capacity? Number of EC2 instances that you wish or desire to launch initially. Initially is a very important word. There is question. Sir, after scaling are coming to minimum, okay, that means 2, minimum number, no meaning number. This WhatsApp message is it's hard to read. Minimum number. How can we reach again to desire? I already answered this, no? The question here is, after scaling, it will come to minimum. How to reach to this desired capacity is asking. How to reach? Automatically it reach, no? Okay, now, so to you cannot keep on increasing, no? You need to give the minimum, these boundaries you need to give. That nothing, it is just a boundary. That's it. That, see, it is, I understood your question. So question here is, sir, anyways, EC2 instance will automatically scale out and scaling, no? So why need to worry about the minimum and maximum? Let's assume, I'll give a personal example. I mean, here. So you don't put minimum. You have not put minimum. Scaling happen. Assume you have maximum 6 machines. Scaling happen. How many? 5. Scaling happen. 4, 3, 2, 1. There is no minimum, no, you said. If you don't put minimum maximum values, there is no limit. It will come down. Your application will not work. Okay. Okay. So what are these? These are called boundaries. Okay. Just guys, just hold on this topic. You'll understand all the questions will be answered. Now, there are 3 types of scaling options. How many types of scaling options? There are 3 types of scaling options. There are 3 types of scaling options. Number 1, we call it as manual scaling. Say that. Manual scaling, and then we have schedule scaling, and then dynamic scaling. What are those 3? Manual scaling, schedule scaling, dynamic scaling. Manual, schedule, dynamic. One more time. Manual, schedule. So manual scaling, schedule scaling, dynamic scaling. So the questions that you guys are asking, sir, how to get back to desired capacity? I said automatically, correct? I said automatically. But if you feel that, no, sir, I want immediately to have my desired capacity 4, go and edit the value. So that is called manual scaling. So let's say, for example, your desire in your auto scaling group, you have only 2 machines now. How many machines? Scaling has happened, only 2 machines came. But you want desired capacity as 4 immediately. Can you increase it? Go to desire, go and edit auto scaling group. There will be minimum, maximum desired capacity values will be there. Desired capacity initially you put 4. Again, now it has become 2. Desired capacity has become 2 because that is minimum value now. Just change it to 4 again. If you change it to 4, what will happen? Again, 2 machines will be launched automatically. Yes or no? So if you're changing this desired capacity manually, what is that called? Manual scaling. Understood? If you want forcefully to have your desired capacity, or forcefully to want to have many EC2 instances, go and change the values. If not, automatically. So automatically, basically, automatically meaning what is that one? Last one. Which one? Dynamic scaling. So based on the load. Here, someone asked, sir, based on what trigger it will scale out? Based on what? CPU. Based on CPU. Remember, we call it as metrics. What is that? What are these metrics? CPU, memory, network, all this comes under the matrix only, correct? So here, you guys remember, this auto scaling group in olden days, many years back, there are a lot of configurations required on the AWS. I still remember in my starting days, I used to create alarms for this, and so many things need to be set up. But here now, since couple of years, this auto scaling group has AWS has developed this auto scaling such an intelligently, everything will be handled by itself only. You just need to give details. You just need to give details to auto scaling group, like Babu, auto scaling group, minimum is this, maximum is this, desired capacity this, take it. And then say to auto scaling group, if my average, keep my average CPU utilization as example 70%. Keep my entire group average CPU utilization as 70%. That's it you need to provide. And automatically, based on the load, let's say if it is going more than 70%, auto scaling group will understand the CPU utilization is going more than 70%, scale out will happen. And it is going less than 70%. And auto scaling group will understand, oh, it is going less than 70%. These many machines are not required. Let me scale in. So this is automatic completely. So if you are going like this, then that is called dynamic scaling. Which one, Nana? Dynamic scaling. And then schedule scaling is there. Let's say, for example, you have the auto scaling group, which is minimum 2, desired capacity 4, maximum 6. Keep running. Very good. And on Friday, I have the big billion day. On Friday, I have a big billion day. Today is Monday only. Can I schedule it? I can create a schedule saying that on Friday at this point of time, I want my desired capacity as 60, maximum as 100, minimum as 30, for example. Can I do it? Of course. You create a schedule at that point of time, automatically based on the number of desired capacity that you have given, like 60, automatically it will launch EC2 instances. That is called schedule scaling. What is it called? Schedule scaling. Is it clear, Nana? So what are the 3 types of scaling options you have? Manual scaling, schedule scaling, dynamic scaling. Which one is better? Which one is better? Dynamic scaling. Manual, so you cannot keep on manually edit. No, you will not be there all the time in front of the laptop, right? So dynamic scaling is always better. MS Zoni to remember types of auto scaling. MSD. Okay, very good. So your questions got answered. We can also set minimum capacity to desired capacity. So no need to about desired capacity. Yes, desired capacity can be equal to minimum. Yes, desired capacity can be equal to maximum. Yes, but desired capacity can be less than minimum, greater than maximum. So these constraints are there. Nitin, sir, let's say if load is more and we need more than 6 machines, as per our example, can't we cross 6 as we mark maximum 6? No. As you have marked the maximum 6, you cannot cross more than 6. So your load will be distributed only on those 4 machines. But if you feel that you have to increase it, can you go and change the maximum value? What is that scaling called? Manual scaling. Go and edit it and then change that maximum to 6 to 20, and then top scale out will happen. Okay. It is not pre. It will provision only at that time. No, pre-provisioning meaning what? Before only we are provisioning it. So it is not called pre-provision, just provisioning. That's it. Schedule provision, you can say. So if you are manually modifying minimum, maximum, and DC. Schedule scaling based on the time period or a day. Dynamic scaling based on the load. Yeah. You can use metrics like CPU, network, or number of request count, etc. What are all these called, Nana? We all this called metrics. This metric concept we use in where? In CloudWatch. Is it clear? Online, is this clear and still here, everyone? Nice. Slowly. Wow. Okay. So now there is one question for you here. In this diagram, these blue color EC2 instances are there, no? Okay. So that means scale out has happened. New machines got launched. Whenever the new machine got launched, Listen this question carefully. Whenever the new machines got launched, it should contain application automatically or not? How does that application will come into the EC2 instance automatically? Huh? Very good. Super answer. What is that? AMI. Fantastic. So many people could not, many of my few batches could not able to answer, but you are answering. So I really appreciate how nicely you're listening, guys. Very good. Online and offline, both. So what concept we use? Image, AMI concept. So here, how many steps are there to launch an EC2 instance? 7 steps. What are the 7 steps, sir? Till now you are not saying. Okay, so 7 step. So Nana, this auto who will launch who will launch EC2 instances? Auto scaling group, no? Who will launch EC2 instances? Auto scaling group. Auto scale. Okay. I don't know. Sudden I remember one joke. I started laughing now. Okay, sorry. So auto scaling group is launching the EC2 instances. Generally, we launch EC2 instances. Yes or no? Manually, we launch EC2 instances and we follow the 7 step. How does this bloody auto scaling group is launching EC2 instances? It also should know 7 steps or not? It also should know the 7 steps or not? Is it possible for us to be online and give immediately those 7 steps? No. So there should be something like a template, right? There should be something like a template. And we'll tell auto scaling group, Are Babu, auto scaling group, whenever you're scaling out, use that template. And what does the template contain? The 7 steps. The template is called launch template. What template? Launch template. What template? Launch template. So you can call it as launch template also, or you can call it as launch configuration also. What is it? Launch configuration. You got this point? You got this point? Right? So in that launch template, we have the 7 step. That 7 step includes your AMI also. Your AMI also. So what you said is, Nana, if we are creating the AMIs, what are those images called? Custom AMI. Which one? Custom AMI. So what we do is in that custom AMI, we'll keep our application. We'll keep our application. Let's say you have Java application or .NET application, Python application. Can you launch one EC2 instance and install everything inside it, create an image out of it? That custom AMI? And then in launch template, can use that custom AMI? Yes or no? And then tell auto scaling group, Babu, I have created a launch template with all the configuration inside it. Use that launch configuration or launch template and then launch EC2 instances. Whenever it launch, automatically the application will be deployed there. Got it, Nana? What concept is that? Launch template. Or you call it as launch configuration. So this launch template contain the 7 steps. What does it contain, Anna? It contain AMI. In that AMI, can you have your application? Yes. And it contains what? It contains instance type, volume details, key pair details, etc., etc. Everything will be there inside that 7 steps. Okay, Nana? So auto scaling group is the combination of, you should have a load balancer plus you should have EC2 instances plus launch templates plus if you need any, okay, let's say scale out and scaling is happening automatically. Scale out and then scaling is happening. Whenever scale out is happening, or if scale out is not happening, something got failed, some problem, scale out is not happening. If scale out is not happening, problem or not in real time? Obviously, because load is not getting shared. No. So in that case, you should get a notification or not. So whenever scale out is happening or fail to scale out or fail to scale in, you should receive a notification or not. Which is the service is to receive the notification? Today, how you are saying now? SNS tag? Because of the overview that we have discussed. Yes or no? You understood how we are connecting the things. So if I didn't discuss that overview, then I could have explained now saying that, Babu, there is a service called SNS. It is used to send notification and you don't remember that and it will go off. For that reason, that overview was very important, right? So SNS. So you just need to tell guys, keep my average CPU utilization as 70% example. That's it. Automatically, auto scaling group will take care of everything here. Okay. So auto scaling group will have launch template attached. Is it clear, Nana? Online, is this clear? Super. Now, let's move to the next important topic that you know already, but deep dive. Yes, let's go there. And this topic here, we call it as elastic load balancer. Okay. So we discussed just now about the auto scaling. Actually, load balancer should be discussed first and then auto scaling, but you know the concept. So load balancer. So as we discussed already on this, can you tell me guys, what is first of all load balancer? Which distribute the traffic to the servers. What is elastic load balancer? Which distribute the traffic to the multiple EC2 instances across available zones. So there is a gap. Now tell me, what is the full definition? Distribute the traffic to the multiple EC2 instances across available zones. Any interview anywhere, if they ask what is load balancer, tell that, sir, if he say load balancer, tell what is load balancer. You should say it is load balancer in general, but in AWS we call it as elastic load balancer. It is like slap for him, right? Because he's not a technical guy, he's just a HR guy, right? Did I tell you that in real time? Guys, I told you this. In real time, no one knows much technical because many people will be busy with their projects. There will be some people, those who try to interview it without having any knowledge on AWS. So be very confident and answer the questions. Okay. You don't need to be scared that, okay, if I tell something, what will happen? Nothing will happen. Okay. Okay. So elastic load balancer, which distribute the traffic to the multiple EC2 instances across availability zones. So let me write ELB, which distribute the traffic to multiple EC2 instances across availability zones. Now, ELB is completely managed by? ELB is completely managed by AWS. Okay. ELB is a service or a server? Is a service by AWS, not a server for us. Okay. So how do you access ELB? Using? ELB can access by URL. What that URL called? DNS name, right? ELB can be accessed by URL. So that is the DNS name. Can you log into the load balancer? No, you cannot log into ELB. It's a service, no? Okay. So when I talk about this load balancer, I remember my personal life real-time example. Should I tell you that? Yes, sir. We are interested a lot. Okay. So before that, some people, mostly 95% people will think, yes, sir, we are interested. Tell me. And that 5% people will be there. Moderator. Who are those 5% online? But all those things are very useful for you because it's a real time, no? So what is the architecture that I'm drawing here? Load balancing, right? Yeah. Raghuram. Maybe Raghuram, you can just put the headset off for some time while we talk about real time. EC2. So assume that we have a, what is that application? What is the application here? Index.html. Yes, Nayak, you need to put that to everyone, not directly to me. Other people can see that. So how does load balancer is monitoring your application using health checks? What is the status code that you get? See, very good, Nana. And then can I have, if required, on top of it, auto scaling here? Yes. Can I have my EC2 instances? This is in 1A. This is in 1B. This is in. Fantastic. Fantastic. And how do you access? You have a DNSM. And this is the, remember, nasty URL? How does this nasty URL look like? I'll write for you. http:// myelb dot blah, 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 something dot elb dot amazon elb dot ap minus south minus one dot amazon aws.com, like this. Is it good to give this URL to customer? So how do you do the makeup? Route 53. Fantastic. Where do you do the makeup? Route 53. So go to Route 53 and this nasty URL nicely you can give like http:// what is our website name? Boom.com, right? Like this. So that will be done. That makeup can be done in the Route 53. Okay, now coming to this load balancer. So I'll give my what has happened with me, the real-time example here. You know, yesterday I gave a little bit hint that I used to work with a company where it deals with the ships, right? Ships. So the ships meaning we have a lot of cargo ships, passenger ships, oil tankers. So have you ever people gone travel by ship? Anyone? Yeah? Goa? Okay. Alone only, no? No. Okay. So okay, there are few people those who already travel. That's really good. I also, because I'm the person where we used to deploy our software. We develop a software. And how we have GPRS here on the land. You know GPRS, no? If you want to go from point A to point B, so use the GPRS and you'll go. And how do you use? How do the ships will go from one place to other place? They need to have the GPRS or not? So for that, we develop softwares for that. So we call it as voyage planning. What is that? The ships going from one place to other place, we call it as voyage. So we develop these kind of softwares. So I'm the head of that team. So my developers develop this voyage planning, and then my system will show nicely which route is the best route to go to the ship to one place to other place. So we need to consider this weather also, correct? So you can, on the ocean, you cannot directly sail, correct? So you have the whirlpools there, and then a lot of big tides will be there. So we collect all this weather data from the third-party providers, and then we analyze the data, real-time data, and then we plan the voyage. And then we develop voyage optimizations related things, and also we develop safety related things, as the shutter should close down automatically if the ship is going to sink. And then there are so many things that we develop. So basically, that entire thing is on the URL only, on the website. So that website, and I also, we have a team called commissioning team. What team? Commissioning team meaning we are the few people will be there where we go and deploy all these softwares on the ship. We go to engine rooms and all. Have you seen engine rooms? Where in Titanic movie, engine room. Why you see engine room there? Oh, okay. So you might have observed, I don't know what you are observing, but in the back of those two people, engine room will be there. So engine room, it is very, very dangerous, and you can, in your ears will blast. So that how big noises will come from there. Anyways, so you understand what we are doing, right? So what we do is here, we have set up an application, load balancer is there. I'm putting very simply, okay, to make you understand. So this is the load balancer, and this is the EC2 instances, and we have the application running, Nana. Okay. This is ELB. These are EC2 and EC2. Okay. Assume my application is here, http://boom.com only. So this captain meaning the ship guy, the captain, ship captain. So he'll open this URL and he'll try to use all our softwares. Okay. Okay. Now, these are the ships. Looks like ships. Assume it, huh? Okay. These are the ships, right? So every customer. So so we have so many customers. You might have known this Disney ships. Disney is also our customers, and Viking Line. Have you gone? Which one? Which company did you travel? Not remember. Okay. So cruise, yeah. We have so many customers are there. Okay. So we have the ship, Nana. In this ship also we have the network or not? In the ship also we have the network. Network will be there in each and every ship. Because, and how does it provide the internet in the ship? We have the LAN cables, Wi-Fi and all, right? So using satellites. So what we do is we have sensors, so-called nowadays called IoT. Have you heard about IoT? Internet of Things. So we using IoTs, what we used to do is we will put the sensors on the ship and we'll collect all the data to the satellite. And from the satellite, we'll move it to the AWS cloud. And that from there, my developers will take the data and they will work on it. So this entire setup is done by me only, alone in the company, right? So now, ship number one, he opened the website and he started traveling. Very good. He said everything is working fine. They are connecting to my load balancer. Yes or no? Second ship is also connected to my load balancer, working. Third ship also connected here. Coming to this fourth ship, question will come here. He said, "Hey, Mr. Riaz, or hey, engineer, we have network in our ship and we have the firewall. Obviously, firewall will be there. Yes or no? Every network will have the firewall." He said that we have the firewall, but I want your IP address, website IP address. I want your website IP address to list down in the firewall. Listen this carefully. I want a website IP address. Is it possible to give the website IP address? Okay, now here boom.com. Indirectly, which IP address is asking? Boom.com meaning which one? Load balancer. Excellent. Load balancer. He is asking load balancer IP address. Load balancer is a service, a server. Is it possible to provide the IP address for the load balancer? Is it possible to provide the IP address of the EC2 instances? EC2 instance is my private one. I cannot provide it. I need to provide only the load balancer IP address. But load balancer is a service, not a server. I replied to the client saying that, hey, Mr. Client, so we are using a cloud provider called AWS and we have a concept called load balancer. It is a service, not a server. And he replied, bullshit. Why are you saying all this thing? Just give me bloody IP address. And then I was like confused. Like, how come I'll give the IP address? Load balancer is a service. It is by AWS. How do I give? And then I exchanged emails, multiple emails saying that it is not. Finally, I said, not possible. And he said, okay, you said not possible. Let's close the deal, business. And my CEO came to my cabin. Riaz, what are you doing? And he said, give the IP address. No, why it's too much of escalations. I said, Babu CEO, this is AWS. Load balancer is a service, not a server, I said. Why you are saying all this to me? He said. Then who will listen my words? I'm the only one technical person. No one is ready to listen. They are just saying, give me the IP address. Just imagine in my situation, there are crores of business is stuck due to just only with one IP address. Huh? Nasty or also the URL. He want IP address. See? I know everyone are curious now. ఆ తర్వాత see, what has happened is I exchange a lot of emails with him, customers, and finally said not possible. Then the next option what I have is I was investigate. I started exploring, investigating it. When I started investigating, I found a command to get the IP address of any website. Do you remember in DNS section I told you this command? NS lookup. Did I tell you this? Huh? What is that? NS lookup. So what I did NS lookup for my load balancer nasty URL, and I got the IP address. I got the IP address. I was like jumping. Array, I got the IP address of the load balancer. Bloody, it is a website only. Every website should have the IP address. And who is the guy who remember the IP address? DNS. Said DNS has a command called NS lookup. So I use NS lookup, I got the IP address. I was very happy, and immediately I sent an email to customer saying that, Babu, take this IP address. And then he put his IP address here in his firewall. He put in his, firewall. Okay, I should not give the gap. So I said, take this IP address and put it in your firewall. So he put it in his firewall, and then it started working. It started working. And everyone clapped, everyone appreciated, everyone, Steve also congratulated. Wow, Riaz, you saved a lot of money for us. So super, super, super. One day, everything worked fine. Second day, I got an email from customer saying that, Babu, your website is not working again. I'm in the middle of the sea. I'm in the middle of the sea and the website is not working. Then I went immediately and checked the NS lookup, IP address. IP address got changed. IP address got changed. So then I got to know load balancer has the IP address, but that IP address is statica dynamica. Dynamic. Oh, this is the reason why AWS is saying not to use the IP address. So, guys, now I gave the IP address. If I give the IP address also next day again, it will change or not? Then that the real trouble came. Then I contacted AWS and said, hey, AWS, I want to know the IP address of the load balancer. He also replied saying that load balancer is a service, not a server. Are Babu, this song I already sang many times. So don't say this to me. Give me some solution for it. He said, not possible. If you say not possible, I cannot leave my crores of business, right? Do something, I said. We got a call with customer care support. Big people came, and then, they also argued, not possible. We cannot give it. So after a lot of discussions, so they came up with one solution. This has happened few years back. They said, they gave the solution like this. Now, this is the load balancer, yes or no? Load balancer is completely managed by AWS. This is the ELB, is completely managed by AWS. Do I need to worry about the performance of the load balancer? No, load balancer is nothing but, of course, it's a service, but backend servers will be there, no? Obviously, servers will be there. Obviously, servers will be there in the backend. Whenever the huge load come onto the load balancer, guys, scale out, scale in will happen on the servers in the backend. Yes or no? For that reason, the IP addresses are dynamic. If you have only standard machines, 4 or 5 machines, IP address will not change. But as the scale out, scaling will happening, machines will be terminated, machines will be added, new IP address will come. For that reason, when you get the NS lookup for the load balancer, IP addresses will be changed. That is why it is dynamic. So finally, what he said is, so Mr. Riaz, what you do is, please compromise the performance of your load balancer. They said, that is the only option. I said, how? They said, in the back end, we have the EC2 instances for the load balancer. Scale out, scaling will be happening. But as we will give you only the set of few machines, which will not scale out and scale in anymore. So they gave example, I'm saying 6 IP addresses machines. And I gave this 6 IP address to the customer and said, put it in your firewall. Firewall, right? I said the same thing, no? So put it in your firewall. So he put it 6 IP addresses in his firewall, right? And then it started working. But the problem here is I'm compromising the performance of the load balancer. So is it possible to give the same load balancer to my other customers? For other customers, I started creating another load balancers. You understand the problem? How much this is helpful for you, this real-time experiences, right? So remember, why I said all these things for you is load balancer has the IP addresses, but these IP addresses are static or dynamic. Is it good to use IP addresses or DNS name? Understood? So to tell this line, I gave this much story for you. So ELB has the IP addresses, but these IPs are dynamic. Okay. So AWS always recommend to use the ELB DNS name, not IP address. Now, is this clear online till here? You got the point? Okay, now let's talk about so there are different types of elastic load balancers now. There are different types. Initially, when I was working on the load balancers, I mean, in starting days of AWS, don't think I'm very old, okay? I'm not very old, as you see me, right? So many years back, when I was working on the load balancer, there was only one load balancer. And that load balancer name is Classic Load Balancer. What is it, Nana? Classic Load Balancer. What is the shortcut we call for this? CLB. And this, if I want to set up a website, everyone will create a classic load balancer. The name is very nice name, no? Classic. Classic load balancer. So they said classic load balancer, and then it supports HTTP protocol, HTTPS protocol, and TCP protocol. Nice, because all your website will work on these protocols. Then, due to different types of requirements nowadays, this classic load balancer could not able to support these new requirements. Okay. And for that reason, AWS came up with the new generation load balancer. What is that, Nana? New generation. And this has become previous generation. If it is previous generation, anyone will use it. So classic load balancer has put aside. So what is the first load balancer that we have got? Classic load balancer. Supports on which protocol? HTTP, HTTPS, and TCP. Which generation? Previous generation. And now if you're asking, sir, which is the latest generation? And the latest generation here is application load balancer. Which one? Shortcut? ALB. And also we have got one more load balancer, latest generation, which is called network load balancer. Shortcut? NLB. And latestly, we have got one more load balancer called gateway load balancer, which very, very, very rare people use. What is this here? Shortcut? GLB. So what are this? How many load balancers are there? Four. What are those? Classic load balancer, application load balancer, network load balancer, gateway load balancer. Shortcut to CLB, ALB, NLB, GLB. Understood? So these are the different types of load balancers we have. And out of these load balancers, obviously, number one, eliminated. Which one is eliminated? Classic load balancer eliminated. We don't talk about it. So which one is the most common load balancer that people will use is application load balancer, because we are working on the applications only. So which is the most common load balancer? Application. So these are the latest generation. Latest generation. So default choose is which one? LB. So anyone who want to set up load balancer, which is the load balancer that people will set up? Developers also, engineers also, support also, any team that they want to set up. So they will go set up ALB. So this ALB works on HTTP and HTTPS. HTTP, because our websites work on HTTP and HTTPS. And nowadays, have you heard about microservices? Your Docker, Kubernetes, all these things, your DevOps people in face alabitte. You are attending DevOps, no? Okay. So, okay, I can feel you. So, microservices, all this, all in DevOps, I don't know whether the trainers have told you or not. There is two types of monolithic applications. Have you heard about it? Right? Monolithic and then microservices. So, okay, if not, please check with your trainers. So microservices is the latest one because monolithic is gone. So because in one server, one application concept is gone. So now, now people are going for the microservices. Microservices meaning your Docker, Kubernetes. So Docker is a very lightweight application containerization, correct? So people go for microservice. For that microservice also, they'll put application there only. Here we are putting in EC2, they are putting in the container. Simple, there is no difference. If it is Kubernetes, they're putting in the pods. If anyone knows DevOps. So, they need to also have the load balancer, no? They need to also have a load balancer. So which is the load balancer they are used for the microservices? Application load balancer. So the best choose, this is the best for microservices also. Best for microservices. Coming to the network load balancer, Nana. Network load balancer, if you need to have a extreme high performance, on what level? Network level. On what level? In the backend network level. Not from application point of view, from the network level. If you want extreme high performance, then go for the network load balancer. Extreme high performance. And as it is on the network related things, it works on TCP and UDP. TCP and because it is related to network load balancer. And then it works on which level, Anna? Network level. Which level? Network level. And good thing here is, guys, it is related to network, no? For the network, let's say if you take firewall, if anything that related network, need to have an IP address or not? So this network load balancer supports static IPs. Which load balancer supports static IPs? Remember, generally load balancer will not support static IPs. But which is the static IP which will provide here? Network load balancer. How many? One static IP per availability zone. So how many static IPs? How many availability zones in Mumbai? 3. So how many static IPs you will get? 3 in the Mumbai region. So you will get a question like this. Which is the load balancer supports static IP addresses? Network load balancer. So coming to the last one, gateway load balancers. Guys, it is related to your security virtual appliances. We don't use much. So if at all, There is a question, sir. Can NL be used between AWS and MuleSoft API Gateway or any on-premise or still ELB? For this kind, NLB can be used, Shada. It is related to the network. So all your API related things in the backend, so they'll use the NLB, right? So if you want to deploy, manage, and scale a fleet of third-party network virtual appliances in AWS, then go for network as a gateway load balancer. Like if you want to set up firewalls or any prevention systems or deep packet inspection, etc. So if you want anything related to security related things that you want to set up, then go for the gateway load balancer. Which one? Gateway load balancer. And it uses a protocol called Geneve. What is it? On port number 6081. Which one? What is the protocol that uses? Protocol Geneve. What is that? People call it as Geneve also, or people also call it as Geneve also, whichever it is. Okay, Geneve. I call it as Geneve. On which port number? 6081. Understood? Here we have application load balancer, network load balancer, classic load balancer, gateway load balancer. Which one is used for security purpose? Gateway load balancer. Which one is old generation, previous generation? Classic. Works on which protocol? HTTP and HTTPS and TCP. So which one is the most common choose? Application load balancer. So works on which protocol? HTTP and HTTPS. Which is used for extreme high performance? Network load balancer. Works on which protocol? TCP and UDP. So now, out of this one, which one is most commonly used? Application load balancer. No? Why? Because it has some advanced features called routing features. What is that? So that is the reason why people will go more for application load, because it has what concept? Routing features. What features? Routing. So I'm giving some examples here. Here we have host-based routing. Say that, Nana. Path-based routing. String parameter. Parameter routing. So string parameter routing, guys, developers, can you have like this in your URLs for string parameter routing? Remember? Yes. So developers knows this. So if at all you want to have this kind of routings also possible from the load balancer. So mainly there are so many routings at the end. I have listed only few. Can you tell me what are those main routing features? Host-based routing, path-based routing, string parameter. Say that one more time. So what is this host-based routing, path-based routing? I'll quickly explain. First, I'll tell you the problem, then I'll give the solution for it. Okay. Okay. Let's say, for example, give me one name, small name. I need one small name. Some name. Funny. Oh, big name. Huh? Okay. Okay. Sam. Samdani. Sam. Okay. Okay. Samantha. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sam. Okay. So http://sam.com, for example. So if you have this URL, if you want to set up infrastructure for this, how do you set up? You need to have a load balancer or not? You need to have a load balancer. And in the backend, you have application inside. What is that application? sam.com, correct? Hmm. Okay, so here you have what, Nana? sam.com. Okay, this is ELB. Okay, you should have it like this or not. And now, is it only sam.com? Can we have something like subdomains? Do you know subdomains? Google.com is a main domain. Images.google.com, subdomain. Photos.google.com, subdomain. And videos.google.com, subdomain. So you have main domain and subdomain. So let's say, for example, here, I want a website like this. Let's say web.sam.com, for example, and admin.sam.com. Can I have a subdomains like this? Different websites, I can have it. Yes or no? Okay, now, if I want web.sam.com, can I send this to load balancer to work? Huh? Guys, tell me, sam.com, web.sam.com, both are same websites or same application, different applications? Same or different? Google.com, images.google.com, same or different? How come it is same? Google.com is search engine, images.google.com is showing images. Both are different applications. Yes or no? Here sam.com is different, web.sam.com is also two completely different applications. So now this load balancer supports sam.com. Yes or no? Can I access web.sam.com with this load balancer? No. Okay, can you do like this then? Here I put like this. Web.sam.com. Is that possible like this? Huh? If I put like this? Not possible. Where is redundancy? Redundancy is missing, no? So whenever you put sam.com, automatically sometimes you will get sam.com, sometimes you will get another application on the sam.com. Is that good to keep it like this? No. For what we need to do for this? We need to create another load balancer or not? Yes, I need to create another load balancer. For what? For what? Web.sam.com. I need to create web.sam.com. So I need to create like this. So if I need to have admin.sam.com, then create one more load balancer. Yes or no? So guys, if I have 10 subdomains, how many load balancers you need to have? 10 different. Is it good? Not good, no? This is the problem with CLB. Remember CLB? Classic load balancer. So classically, if you have a classic load balancer, this is a problem that you will get. So for that reason, they have implemented which one? Application load balancer, our big boy. So this is the application load balancer. So let's talk about how we design this in the application load balancer. So this is ALB. So the good thing here is in ALB, we can create rules. What we can create? Rules we can create. Let's say, for example, if someone is coming with, what is it? http://sam.com. If it is sam.com, I need to have EC2 instance here or not? Guys, sam.com. What are these? These are EC2 instances. This is EC2, EC2, EC2. And what does it contain, Anna? sam.com application it should contain. Okay, see here. Very important. Now what I'm doing is I will group this. What is that? And this group is called target group. This group is called what group? What group? Target group. What group is this? Target group. So like this, you can create multiple target groups. Like this, you can create multiple target group. So this is a target group, Rana. What does the target, what is the target here? EC2 instances, no? Target is EC2 instance. Target is EC2 instance. What does the group contain? Targets. What is target? EC2 instance. What does the EC2 contains? sam.com, that application. So if someone is coming, if someone is coming for sam.com, it will come to this load balancer. And this load balancer will identify that and it will redirect to this target group. Redirect this to the target. And as I said here, you need to create what? You can create rules. This is called host-based routing. What is it called? Let's say, for example, I have another, what is another URL? http://web.sam.com. Generally for web.sam.com, we need to have another load balancer, no? But generally, but here, no need. You send to this here and create another target group. Fantastic. So this is called host-based routing. And this contain what? web.sam.com. web.sam.com. And I group this. And what is this group? Target. Can we give the name of the target group? Yes. Let's say, for example, this call web target group. This one, SAM target group. Like, can I give like this? Yes. And load balancer will send the traffic to this. What is this, guys? This is a difference between in the host name, correct? sam.com, web.sam.com. So there is a difference. And here we created a rules in load balancer. We created a rules. So we create a rule saying that if anyone is coming for sam.com, go to this target group. If anyone is coming for web.sam.com, go to this target group. Based on that, automatically traffic will be redirected. Redirected to TG. TG meaning here what? Target group. Redirected to the target group. This is called what based routing? Host based routing. And I'll talk about path based routing. What is it? This will known by the developers. Developers, sometimes you will have like this sam.com/admin path, separate application using the path. Okay, developers are responding. See, so sometimes you will have at the end path. At the end path. If you have like this, so create EC2 instance, launch EC2 instances. And what application here it has? Admin application. What application, Anna? Admission /admin. Here /admin. /admin. And keep this in which group? Target group. And what is the group name here? Admin TG. So you create a rule in the load balancer. If anyone is coming for /admin, load balancer will redirect to this target group. And what based routing is this? Path based routing. Path based routing. So if anyone is coming with a /, so here it will go. We created rules there. We created rules. You understand, Nana? With only one load balancer, we can have multiple websites there. Clear? Online, is this clear? Is it clear, Nana? And we have for the load balancers, yesterday we discussed, we have something called listeners. What is that? So load balancer will listen on which protocol? Fantastic. HTTP and HTTPS. HTTP is very common. Which is secure? HTTPS. For HTTPS, we need to have certificates, no? Yes or no? From generally, where do you get the certificates? GoDaddy, Kamami, right? So GoDaddy's and so many websites are there available, right? DigiCert is there. But as we are learning on AWS, is it good to go to neighbor house? Everything should be in-house, right? You should not go to the neighbor house. So there should be one service in AWS where you can generate certificate, HTTPS certificates, no? So this is the time for you to know there is a service called ACM. What is that? Amazon Certificate Manager. What is that, Nana? Amazon Certificate Manager. In shortcut, call it as ACM. What is that? ACM. Remember, please write down in your book somewhere ACM, where you generate or create HTTPS certificates. So which is a service? Remember, whenever I ask this, which is a service where you can create certificates, then you should say ACM. Which is a service where you can create encryption keys? Huh? Huh? KPHP. Uh, huh? Which one? KMS. Which one? Louder. What is the full form of KMS? Key Management Service. Okay, all of a sudden you got KPHP, huh? No. So, key management service. And where do you create access keys, secret keys? Service. Service, macha. When you learn too much, these things that you get. Okay, next. Okay, here. So to make you understand, remember, I'll write it here. Access and secret key. Which service? IAM. And then encryption keys. Where? Certificates. Which one? Understood? Three different one. Okay? Oops. Okay, it's fine. Understood? The depth on load balancers? That is the deepest level of the load balancer. If you go even more deeper, nothing will find. Empty. There is nothing on than this. Understood online? Any questions? If not, take the screenshots, please. And good news for you is tomorrow we'll have the theory, last theory on the EC2. And then day after tomorrow, we'll go with the practicals on EC2. DevOps people, load balancer, you see? Difference? That's why I said learn AWS first and then DevOps. Next. Yeah. You want this Picasso? Okay. And the last. This is the only time I feel like a celebrity, taking all the cameras, photo taking. Clear now? Any questions? Take it, Bob. Any questions meanwhile? Understood today's topic? So what is today's topic? Auto scaling load balancers topic mainly. Okay. So go through it. If you have any questions, please ask online. 3 picks. Sir, when will you reveal 7 steps? Okay. Okay. Suspense. Sir, what is the difference between AWS Classic account and ALZ? What is that ALZ? Little bit more. Oh, landing zones. So why you are going to landing zones, Papa? Sharada. That's completely different, man. That is really total big advanced topics. So landing zone, it's completely different where you can automatically set up your accounts. So generally you have a standalone account where we have, yes, Sharada. So we have the normal standard account. So guys, for others, it will be going out of your head on top of your head. Don't worry on this. So generally you have you have your account, right? That is your normal classic account, the normal account. And also we have something called landing zone. So in real time, if we have so many departments, so many multiple projects, they will set up their own accounts through landing zone. So you might have heard about Tower also, right? Sharada. Okay. Oops. Okay. Did I say this? It's a multi-account. So if you want to set up multiple accounts, so based on your own features, then people will go with the landing zone, and it is easy to manage the landing zone. It is the combination of your organizations. Remember organizations? So it is with the combination of your organizations, and each see, a landing zone is a well-architected multi-account AWS environment that is starting point from where you can deploy workloads and applications. So it is basically on your multi-account architecture. So let's say, for example, in very huge advanced topics, like in big companies, for how they design one account is for security purpose, one account is for logging purpose, one account is for web servers, one account is for database related things. So they'll use these multiple accounts and then they will do the architecture. Dedicated one, right? That one can be set up using this landing zone. You can control using this landing zone very nicely, right? So you might have heard of control tower also. So if not, Sharda, look onto it, but it's not required here at the moment. Okay, Nana? Sharada, you got it? Okay. Sir, NLP also distributes traffic. Yes, NLP is also same as load balancer only. ALB also, but it uses in a different requirement. NLB also created target groups. In NLB also, it distributes the traffic. Everything same. But the only difference is it supports the static IPs, but it will be used for extreme high performance for your normal network related things. Like some people said, no, API gateway, etc., etc. Sir, it's difficult to imagine you. Can you reveal your face, please? Why you want to? Oh, yeah, yeah. Why you want to imagine me? Hope that is boy, huh? Shishikant, okay. So, when time comes, we'll reveal. Okay. Big boss. Yes. Hmm. Hero, huh? Uh, Not me hero. You will become hero after a few days. Where? In AWS. As I promised. Zero to hero. Okay, Nana. Can I come to Kukatpalli for offline? Welcome. Of course. Yes. So, Anjan Kumar Swami. Okay. Very good. Okay. If you want to come here and then meet me, of course, welcome. No problem. Yes, of course. Many of our friends are also here. Okay, Nana, can you give me the final CC for today? CC with smile, please. Where is our Sonu Reddy? Sonu Reddy, no good morning today. She might be absent, huh? Sir, why are you asking only Sonu Reddy, sir? So, I'm just joking, huh? You, huh? Okay. So, that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the next topic. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.